Chapter 14. When we return to our building on the Royal Crescent, Elena looks for her keys and, realizing she's forgotten to take them, rings the bell. A few minutes go by before a panting, red-faced John opens the door, cookie crumbs on the front of his jacket. The little pharaoh is tucked under his right arm, his face smeared with chocolate pudding. John holds the door open for us. "Mama," the little pharaoh says, holding his arms out towards Elena. John sets him down on the hallway floor, and she scoops him up. "I hope Alexander wasn't too much trouble." "No, madam. He's been a perfect joy." John is still panting from whatever game they've been playing. The little pharaoh might not have been pulling his tail, but I'm certain the poor man has been put through some form of torture. "Did you miss Mommy and Daddy?" Elena asks the little pharaoh. The high priest takes out a handkerchief and tries to clean the pharaoh's mouth, but he keeps turning away. A perfect joy indeed. "Has Madam and Sir been to the Roman Museum?" "No, John, but it's our next stop. We've come home to drop off our flea market purchases and Leopold." "I wasn't told about this." "I see." The high priest puts my carrier bag on the floor and lifts me out. I look at him inquisitively, and he shrugs his shoulders. "We'll freshen up and then be off to the museum," Elena says. "Would you mind taking care of Alexander again, John? He'd so enjoy playing in the park." John sighs. "It'll be a pleasure, madam." "Thank you, John." We leave him and go upstairs. I'm eager to get to the bedroom so I can complain to Elena. "Why do I have to stay home?" I ask once the door is closed. "Oh, Puss in Boat, you won't be allowed in the museum, and Gato Hamann can't hide you under his coat again. Remember what happened at the Metropolitan Museum in New York?" When I remain quiet, she answers for me. "No? Well, let me refresh your memory. You were discovered by the guards under his coat. Both of you were chased out of the museum, got lost, almost froze to death in the snow, and, should I continue?" "No, please," I say, embarrassed. "I've heard enough." "Then it's settled. And you, Gato Hamann, put the bust of Nefertiti in a safe place." He takes it out of his pocket and sets it on the mantelpiece. Elena looks at it in awe. I still can't believe it. If only she knew she was right to be incredulous. After she and the high priest have freshened up, a human euphemism for using the toilet, she lays the little pharaoh in his crib. I'll tell John to let Alexander nap a while before taking him out. I'm sure John will welcome the break. I crawl by the little pharaoh's side. Elena kisses him on the head, then kisses me. Whatever rancor may have been left is dissipated by her loving kiss. The high priest also kisses his son. I gave him a look that tells him he shouldn't even think about kissing me, too. By the time Elena and the high priest closed the door behind them, the little pharaoh was sleeping, and not long after, while listening to his peaceful breathing, I too fall asleep. Mercifully, I don't dream about any ghosts. John's struggling wakes me up. Poor man. He's trying to put a coat on the little pharaoh, who wants nothing to do with it and is twisting and turning, intent not to let him win. I'm too drowsy to move. "Shush," John says to the little pharaoh, who's laughing heartily. "Be a good boy. You don't want to wake up Leopold." Somehow he manages to get the coat on. He picks the little pharaoh up and walks toward the door. When he reaches the fireplace, he stops to take a close look at the bust of Nefertiti on the mantel. Amazing! What does he mean? Forgetting for a second I'm supposed to be a normal cat, I almost ask him. After staring at the bust a while longer, he tiptoes out of the bedroom with the little pharaoh in his arms. Left alone, I push a chair over to the fireplace, climb up on it, and stand on my hind legs to examine the bust. It's beautiful, but I don't think John was referring to its beauty. I take it in my forepaws to study it more closely, but the sudden sound of a car alarm startles me, and it slips from my grasp. I watch helplessly as it crashes onto the floor and disintegrates. Elena will kill me! But wait, the high priest will tell her the bust was worthless. She might even have a good laugh. Convinced I have nothing to worry about, I get down from the chair and push it back to the table by the window, where I catch sight of John pushing the little pharaoh across the road in a stroller. I look around the room for something to scoop up the bits of plaster, don't find anything suitable, and decide to just cover them. I search through a dresser for a scarf or kerchief, but find instead a package of the little pharaoh's nappies. I take one out, spread it open, and cover the debris. My efforts have made me hungry, and I see myself making a peanut butter sandwich in the basement kitchen. That's exactly what I'm doing when I hear what sounds like a door or window slamming repeatedly. I stop and listen. The noise is coming from the ground floor. I have to investigate. I quickly finish making my sandwich, eat it on the spot, then go upstairs to the main hall. The noise is coming from a room at the back of the building, a room I haven't seen yet. I walk over to the door, gently push it open, and see a long dining table lined with chairs. The curtains are drawn but moving. Slipping behind them, I see the French door has been left open, and the wind is banging the two panels together. If only all mysteries were so easily solved. I go through the French door into a garden and follow a narrow path of white pebbles to a fountain with a large basin. White and pink water lilies float on the water. In the middle of the basin is a column supporting a smaller basin. Water from its spout trickles down into the large basin, and as the water moves, so do the water lilies. Sounds of laughter and the clanking of dishes are coming from behind the garden wall to the right. Bushes of roses grow by the wall, which is covered in ivy. I tread carefully through the rose bushes to avoid getting pricked by the thorns. When I get to the wall, I use the ivy as a ladder. From the top of the wall, I see, a few gardens down, a small group of people having tea under large striped umbrellas. It must be the garden of the Royal Crescent Hotel, which we passed this morning. Going from one garden wall to another, I reach the hotel garden. I consider mingling with the people having tea until I discover, much to my horror, that there are little children playing on the grass. Given what the little pharaoh does to my tail, I hate to imagine what a whole group of children might do to it. I stay on the wall, and moving behind the branch of a tree so I won't be seen, I watch and listen. "I feel like a new woman," says a woman in a red jacket to a woman in a dress with a floral print. "How's that?" "I used the swimming pool and had a massage as well. You should try it." "I don't want to be seen in a swimsuit until I finish my diet." She butters a scone, then covers it with a small mountain of jam. "When did you start dieting?" asks the woman in the red jacket. "I haven't," the other woman replies, taking a large bite of her scone. At another table, a fancily dressed older lady laden with jewelry is sipping tea with a man young enough to be her son. He leans forward in his chair and takes her hand, the one with a large sapphire ring. "You grow more beautiful each day." "Charles, you are such a liar, but at my age, being lied to is better than being ignored." "But I mean it." "You're such a dear boy," she says. She takes her hand away, looks in her purse, takes out a thin box wrapped in gold paper and red ribbon, and presents it to him. Almost in a frenzy, he grabs the box from her hand, pulls at the ribbon, and tears at the paper. He opens the white box inside, takes out a wallet made of crocodile skin, then frowns in disappointment. "Open it," the lady says. Charles looks in the wallet. "I can't see what's inside, but judging by the big smile on your face, it's stuffed with money." He gets up from his chair, stands behind the lady, then leans down and kisses her on the back of the neck. When she turns her head, he kisses her on the mouth. When they finish kissing, he helps her up, and hand in hand they disappear into one of the buildings at the rear of the garden. A maid arrives and hastily clears away their unfinished tea. I'm trying to figure out how to get down the wall and into the garden without the children spotting me, when a cumulus begins to unload its heavy cargo. A lot of scurrying ensues. Guests abandon their tea and run for shelter. Parents scoop up their children and carry them off. The woman in the red jacket pulls it up over her head and flees. The woman in the floral print dress is right behind her, holding a shopping bag over her head with one hand and clutching a scone with the other. Within seconds, everyone has disappeared. A large wooden door slowly opens in the building behind the secluded area of the garden to reveal a man in a dripping wet swimsuit and the famous hotel pool. The man looks outside for a while, then turns around and, descending a few steps, goes back into the pool and disappears. The wall I'm on connects with the wall beside the secluded area of the garden. When the rain lets up, I walk straight to it, then along it, and jump down near the open door. Staying close to the ground, I peep inside. The pool looks like the Roman pool in Elena's guidebook. The man I saw is the only one in the water. He's floating on his back. On the other side of the pool are lounge chairs, 2 large barrels filled with water, and 2 doors. One door says steam room, the other sauna. Beside each door, there's an open shower. A girl in white uniform comes in through a doorway on the side. walks to the far end of the pool, and lights a large candle on the floor. She puts something in a dish near the candle, then leaves the way she came in. Smoke begins to rise from the dish. It's incense, myrrh. This place is like a temple. A woman in a swimsuit comes out of the steam room, little puffs of steam following her. She turns the shower on, but instead of getting under the water, she gathers it in her cupped hands and splashes her face. Then she walks to the edge of the pool, waves at the man who waves back, and lies down on a lounge chair. The man turns on his stomach and swims frog style to the end of the pool, stopping under a large faucet and pushing a button. Water comes out in a strong jet. He puts his shoulders under it and moans with pleasure. When the water stops, he swims back, climbs out, and stands beside the woman. "Rose, did the steam room help?" "Yes, so relaxing. I feel like a new woman." "Good. What we need now is a nice cocktail." "Splendid idea." He helps Rose up, and hand in hand they disappear through the doorway the girl in white used. Steam room. So relaxing. I have to try it. I've been feeling tense ever since Stonehenge. I go through the door, down the steps, and over to the pool. I jump in, quickly swim across, climb out, and go to the steam room. I get up on my hind legs and pull on the door handle with all my might. The door opens just enough for me to get inside. The warm fog is so thick I can't see. I go down on my fours, take a few steps forward, and bump into something wet, bony, and bristly. A human shin? A woman's loud scream confirms it is. I back away, then turn around, searching for the door. The woman has the same idea. I feel her lower leg brush against my side. Another loud scream. Blinded by the steam, I can't see where I'm going. The woman has the same problem. Scrambling, she almost trips over me. The scream is so loud it makes my fur stand on end. Suddenly, I feel cold air as the door opens in front of me. As I run out, I see the girl in white holding it. Not stopping to rinse my face, I fly into the pool, race across, jump out, leap up the steps and out the door. I climb up the garden wall, run till I reach my garden, then jump down. Steam room, so relaxing. I'm now more tense than ever. I wonder what the sauna is like. Luckily, no one's closed the door to the dining room. I go inside and, breathless, begin to dry myself with the curtains, my ears ringing from the woman's screams. Why is the ringing becoming louder? It's Elena yelling at the top of her lungs. I run out of the dining room, into the hall, and straight up the main staircase to the bedroom. The door is ajar, but I don't go in because of what I see inside. Elena's swinging a diaper about, as if it were the proverbial dead cat. "I can't believe he broke it," she screams. "And look how he tried to cover it up." She presses the diaper under the high priest's nose. "A priceless piece of art like that, and he broke it." Now she's wringing the diaper. "I will kill him!" I feel my balls shrink, and it's not for being wet and cold. What's the high priest waiting for? Why doesn't he tell her the truth? "Elena," he says after what seems like an eternity, "the piece was a fake." "What?" She plunks herself down on a chair. "I am sorry, Elena. I just wanted to show you I could find a real bargain." I see. I know that when she says, "I see," it actually means, "I don't see and I'm still furious." How does one appease an angry woman? With a gift, of course. But what sort of gift can I give Elena? I've got it. A rose. And where am I going to get a rose? In the garden, of course. In a flash, I'm down the stairs, through the French door, and back in the garden. I stand upright to better see what's available and spot the perfect rose, a large yellow one, which, unfortunately, is in the very middle of the rose bush. As I make my way toward it, thorns prick me, but that's a small price to pay. I reach up to my prize, break the stem off the branch, and carefully put it in my mouth. Then I back out of the rose bush, get down on my fours again, and head inside. When I get upstairs, I peek in the bedroom. The mood has certainly changed. Elena and the high priest are laughing. John is also there now, holding a broom in one hand and a dustpan in the other. "It was foolish of me to get so upset, wasn't it, John?" Elena says. "Not foolish at all, madam. I saw the bust on the mantel when I came in to pick up little Alexander. I know something about antiques, especially Egyptian antiques, and immediately realized the bust was as old as the larger one, the famous Nefertiti head." John's words have a terrible effect on his listeners. Elena looks as if she's about to faint. The high priest collapses on the bed, and I bite the rose stem so hard one of the thorns pierces my tongue. The pain is excruciating, but I can't cry out. If Elena were to find me now, I'd certainly experience even worse. I let my beautiful rose fall from my mouth and try to think of a place to hide. "Madam, I forgot to tell you that your hostess rang earlier," I hear John say as I begin my retreat. "She's instructed me to convey her regrets she won't be able to dine with you tonight. She's been delayed in London." "Thank you, John," Elena replies in a stern voice, "but dinner is the last thing on my mind tonight." I know what Elena has first on her mind. Murder. Feline murder. It's time for me to make my getaway. Remembering all the other rooms on this floor and the second floor are locked, I make my way up to the next floor, the attic, where I jump into the magic boat and collapse. There are those who say cats have an easy life. They couldn't be more wrong.